This was our honeymoon in Mykonos. We explored the town, went to sunset bars with amazing views, restaurants that flipped into parties, and beach clubs, all while navigating my wife's celiac disease and staying gluten-free. Come with us for a packed week in Mykonos.
I'm on holiday. He's working. We're on their honey bus. What time did Curtis get home from the gym this morning? 10:10. What time were we leaving the house at?
10.
Was he packed? No. Well, we're here. We're on our way.
Quick stop to grab some sunglasses. Definitely not to make up for the fact that I was late back from the gym. Landing at 9 p.m. could have meant writing the day off, but we've been looking forward to this trip for a while, so the plan was grab the bags, check into the hotel, and head straight back out for our first dinner in Mykonos.
There's our little baggie.
Heavy.
You're a big boy, you can do it. Fight them. Fight them.
We chose Myconian Korali because we felt it was close enough to town without being in the center of everything. What we didn't realize was how those little walks would feel like hill training.
We've just arrived. We've got a little bathroom. Also, this is definitely sheer, and so is this, so that's fun. Yeah, down there would be amazing. Oh, thank you. Wow. Thank you so much. Woohoo! Cheers. Happy honeymoon.
After the champagne, we went straight into honeymoon mode with our first dinner at Noah. Sarah had the grilled octopus, I had the rack of lamb, and it was one of those meals where you finally feel the trip has properly started.
Day one.
Day one was our chance to slow down and actually feel like we were in Mykonos. No big plan, just wandering the streets, finding the cool little shops, and figuring out where we'd probably end up later in the week.
Good, thank you. How are you? Oh, they've got like a deeper blue one. Bluey. Now we're talking.
We also very quickly learned why Mykonos gets called the Windy Island. Some of these cute scenic walks were less romantic stroll and more try not to get blown into the sea. We headed back to the hotel for a quick sunbathe before dinner that we booked later in the evening. Interni was one Sarah had picked before we even got to Mykonos. We went for dinner, but if I'm honest, we both knew we really were there because it turns into a party as the evening goes on. After a busy first day, we decided to have a slower morning, breakfast, pool, cocktails, and doing very little, which is exactly the reset we wanted to have before getting dressed up to go again that evening.
Happy? Cheers. Oh my god. Hello, little sir. On our way to 180 for a cheeky sunset dinner. A few bevs. Burnt to a crisp. Oh no, that's a lie. I'm actually just quite toasty. Anyway, here we go.
We probably should have got a taxi to 180 because these hills are no joke.
This is what's ahead of us. This is what we've come from. It's not doing it justice as to how hilly it is. You can hear how out of breath I am now. Also, I'm obviously supporting the Havanas, Fritos, and in this economy. And I do have a booster system though, that works out quite well. Hang on. Highly recommend. I've got the latest edition of Turbo Boost. I wouldn't mind, but I literally said most people say to get a cab, but we'll be fine.
But walking there made the view feel even more deserved. By the time we sat down on the private deck, it felt like one of those "this is why we came here" moments.
Thank you.
You do sit on these cushions overlooking the sea and the sunset, which is beautiful, but I'm not the most flexible person, so it might not be comfortable for everyone. Once the sun started going down, the whole vibe picked up. The combination of the DJ and the live singer put us in the mood for a bit of a bop. So after a few more cocktails, we decided it's probably best jump in a cab straight down to the town and check out some of the bars.
Turn up your radio, blast your stereo.
Day 3 started with a quick breakfast at the hotel before we headed to SantAnna, as we thought it was definitely time to hit up a beach club.
The bumblebee for your honey.
Thank you. Thank you.
SantAnna was one of those places we'd seen all over social media, so I think we both had a picture in our heads of what it would be like. It started out a lot calmer than expected because the weather this day wasn't perfect. But once the sun started to come out, the whole place started to pick up. This was also one of the moments where gluten-free travelling could have become stressful. The menu didn't have loads of options, but the staff took the time to go through it with us, and that made a massive difference. The staff randomly brought out shots for everyone, and from that moment on, the party really started.
And somehow it's still standing. Curtis polished off the last bit. Here we are. Where to next?
After a full day in the sun and probably one too many drinks, we decided to go for a slightly more chilled dinner. This was a place we found in town. The lady running the restaurant assured us that everything was gluten-free, so we had full confidence. We somehow managed to drag the English weather with us all the way to Greece, so we decided that it was time to be tourists and check out the famous Mykonos Windmills. After checking out the windmills, Sarah wanted to go and look for some presents for her birthday. This became a very serious decision because apparently one holiday hat is just not enough.
Same price.
Later that day, we headed to Nammos Village, which is one of those places that instantly feels expensive. We had a little wander around the shops before going to Nammos Beach, and honestly, it ended up being one of the coolest experiences of the whole trip. This is one of the coolest restaurants we've both ever been to. On the beach, food, cocktails, and everyone is getting up on the tables and dancing because the music is absolutely pumping. At this point, lunch had very much stopped being lunch. We ended up making friends there, so after Nammos, we all went back to get ready, then meet up again in town for drinks and a proper night out.
Feeling a bit rude.
We started day 4 by soaking up the sun by the pool and having a bit of lunch there. This evening we're heading to Scorpios, which is boho vibes, and you'll see Sarah's outfit here along with one of the hats I got her for her birthday. We got to Scorpios probably an hour or so before sunset and the place was already pumping. So we headed straight to the bar, got a couple of cocktails, and then found ourselves getting stuck right into the party. We're actually having dinner here later, so we pulled ourselves away from the DJ and the dance floor and went for a little explore around the beach club.
There we go, that's better. Can we do that one again?
This is a dinner that I was really excited for because you can't beat Mediterranean food, especially when it's been cooked on an open fire. On our last full day, we decided to have breakfast outside in the sun so we could soak up as much of the glorious weather as possible. I just wanted to show the breakfast selection that you get when you stay at a Myconian because they put out absolutely everything and it's all amazing. This is the second hat that I bought for Sarah's birthday. For our last proper dinner of the trip, we wanted something that felt a bit special, so we booked Zuma for the sunset dinner experience.
Amazing.
I'm on holiday. He's working. Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers in the water.
Yeah. Ah, hello.
Amazing.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Ah, cheers.
This was also probably the best restaurant we had for allergies. They just straight up took the menu away, and our waiter went to the kitchen personally to speak to the chef and came back and let us know exactly what we could have. And of course, we wanted to end the vinyl night with a bit of a party, so we headed back to Interni because it felt like the right way to end it, with a few drinks, some dancing, and then finally admitting we were done.
You're my